Good morning, students. Last class I had discussed about the different types of database models, where we touched upon the hierarchical model, the network model, advantages, disadvantages, as well as relational model. We also have talked about object-oriented data model, which accommodates something which does not fit into these three models, that is any like computer-aided engineering, computer-aided manufacturing. It can store unstructured data like images, audio and video, which are used in complex applications. Now, to go into the details of relational model, we had talked about the key terms which we'll be using, like table. What is a table? What is an entity? Let me revise one by one in short. What is a table? A table is a collection of related fields. That means it is a collection of rows and columns. These tables are also known as relations. That is why the term relational model. Hence, databases that support the concept of relations are called relational databases. Each table is spread out in a tabular format, which will consist of only rows and columns. Each row will represent an entity or an object, and columns are fields of the records. So these fields actually represents the attributes of an entity. So what is an entity? Like anything which has physical existence is known as entity. Like for student, employee, house, car, company, course, fees, books. These are all various types of entity. Now, what does the attribute mean then? Attribute is any characteristic or quality of an entity. Any quality of an entity. Those are known as attributes. For example, if we talk about student roll number, student name, student address, student's contact number, these individual fields or columns, they are called attributes of the entity student. Similarly, if I have a table called employee, then employee ID, employee name, department, designation, salary, contact number, these individual fields are also called attributes of the entity employee. Now, as we told that the retrieval of records, retrieval of data is quite easier in a relational model. So we need some mechanism to retrieve those databases. That mechanism is called a key. With the help of keys, we actually identify a particular record. That is why, for example, if we say student entity, roll number could be a key which is unique. Usually by key is something which is unique, and unique records actually identify the remaining records or remaining fields or remaining information from the table. Now suppose if two students have the same name, but definitely they will have different roll number. Similarly, when designing a table student, the roll number can be used as a key. This key value is used, or in future it will be used as a to search a record from a large number of records efficiently and effectively in less amount of time. Now in database there are various number of keys, various types of keys. Excuse me. One is called the candidate key. What is a candidate key? It is because you need to understand these types of keys very nicely, otherwise you'll be stuck up while solving the examples. Although you'll be having MCQ questions, today I'll be discussing some MCQ only. I'll give you some MCQ. So candidate key is a key that is eligible to become the primary key. For example, in a student table with attributes such as roll number, name, phone number, course, marks and address, one possible candidate key is the roll number, and the second can be a combination of name and phone number. So we can say that candidate key is an attribute or a combination of attributes that will uniquely identify an entity. So a candidate key is a column or a combination of columns that satisfies all requirements of a primary key and therefore has the potential to become a primary key. So then how do we define a primary key? A primary key is an attribute or combination of attributes that allows each record to be identified uniquely. For example, if a student table has roll number as well as registration number, name, course, marks, etc., then roll number or registration number can be made the primary key. Both of them together cannot be used as a primary key, as one of them satisfies the purpose, because you can choose either of them but not two at the same time. That is the one feature of a primary key. Then what is an alternate key? Now, just as we discussed, two primary keys is possible. One you can choose. If a table has more than one candidate key, then one of them is chosen as a primary key and all the other candidate keys are alternate keys of that table. This means that primary key is also a candidate key and the remainder, if any, are called alternate keys. For example, if we choose roll number as the primary key, then registration number or the combination of name and phone number are the alternate keys. So is it clear what is alternate key? Means they are candidate key, but there could be several candidate keys. Now one will be chosen as the primary key and the other, which are not chosen as the primary key, will be known as alternate keys. Now let's come to composite key. A composite key is a key made up of two or more attributes within a table so uniquely to uniquely identify a record. For example, suppose in a student table, name and phone number is a combination of two attributes, so that forms a composite key. That means more than one key together forming a key is known as a composite key. It is always preferred to choose a simple key as the primary key rather than choosing a composite key. Now let's come to a very important part, that is foreign key. I am again repeating these keys because this will be requiring, and if you have to be very clear about these different types of keys, otherwise it will be difficult for you to understand the queries, how we retrieve with the help of primary key, how we retrieve all these things. You will be understanding well if you are clear with these concepts of different types of keys. Now what is foreign key? A foreign key is an attribute of a table that matches the primary key of another table. Such a key is specifically created to cross-reference tables. Now cross-reference tables means, what do you mean by that? That means foreign keys are used to restrict the domain of attributes in the referencing relation, means which table you are referring to, and one or more records in the referencing relation can have the same value for the foreign key attribute. For example, in a student table, course ID suppose is the foreign key. Course ID is the primary key of a table course details. Now this table will have course ID and course name. So course ID is the foreign key, but course ID is also present in the main table. So there it acts as a foreign key. The students table can have limited values, that is only those specified in course details. Therefore, they are restricting the domain of attributes. Although there is a unique course ID in the course details table, but in the student table, that is the referencing table, the course ID may have same values. That means something which is you are referring to, that table will be having same unique records, because that key will be a foreign key to the main table. So foreign keys do not have a unique value in the referencing table, but in the main table where it is a primary key, it will have unique value over there. So primary keys are used to define the relationships among the tables. When primary key of one table is used as an attribute in another table, it becomes a foreign key in the other table. Moreover, a table can have more than one foreign key also. So this sentence which I just now spoke, you have to be very clear about it. That means a primary key of one table is used as an attribute in another table. It becomes a foreign key in the other table. Moreover, a table can have more than one foreign key. Now with this foreign key concept, there is another term which is associated with this that is called referential integrity. We talked about integrity a number of times, that DBMS offers integrity, data integrity, all these features we talked about number of times in various sections and subsections. So referential integrity, what is this integrity all about? Foreign keys support the concept of referential integrity, that it ensures that relationships between tables remain consistent. When one table has a foreign key, the concept of referential integrity states the following. A record in a table with a foreign key cannot be added until there is a corresponding record in the linked table. This means that if there is no course, suppose for example if I say BCA course or BCom course with course ID 3 or 4 whatever in the course details table, then no student in the student table can have course ID as 4. Secondly, a record in a table with a foreign key is deleted if the foreign key, that is the primary key of the other table, is deleted. This means if suppose course CS-103 or something is deleted from the course details table, then all rows in the student table with same course ID are also deleted. This property is called cascading delete. Thirdly, if a record in a table with a foreign key is updated, if the foreign key, that is the primary key of the other table, is changed. This means if CS103 is updated to CS111 in the course details table, it is still that all rows in student table with same course ID are also updated. This is called cascading update. So these again I just revised about all the different types of keys. Now we'll see how we can retrieve data through queries. Now what is a query? Query in simple term means a question. Here when we want to retrieve records from a database, we often use the concept of query, that is the language we use. It's called SQL, known as structured query language. Structured query language, the short form is SQL. With the help of this, we can easily retrieve data from the database. Like for the most common type is the select statement. Select means we are selecting, or the users are selecting for retrieval of data from a table in the database. The query may retrieve data from one or more columns in the table. Now suppose if I want to select only roll and name from the student table, I will use the query select. The general syntax is select column 1 comma column 2 from table name. Now suppose if my table name is student and column name 1 is roll number, second column is name. So my result will be select. It is not case sensitive, you can use caps or you can use in small letter also, but select is a reserved word. Select roll number comma name is the second column, column 2 from table name is the name of the table which you specify, that is the student table. So then the terminating symbol is semicolon. Semicolon is a must, otherwise your query would not run. So again I repeat, select roll number. Now you have to use the spelling as you have used it while creating the table. If you have used RNO, then here also in the select statement you have to write RNO. You cannot write ROLL, otherwise it cannot locate from the database what you are asking for. So select roll number comma name from the table name student. Table name you do not have to write again, it was part of the syntax, the table name I had mentioned. So instead of the word table name, you have to write the name of the table, that is if it is student, it will write student, then semicolon. As you press semicolon and then click enter, the query after matching the database engine, what will it do? It will search from the table student and it will locate roll number and name and retrieve only the roll number field and the name field from the table student. No other fields, irrespective of the number of fields which are present. Like suppose in the student table, roll number, registration number, name, phone number, address, course, all these things were present, but those details will not be retrieved because you have asked only to retrieve roll number and name.